this video, we're going to be talking about what is the UBE. So first things first, the UBE stands for the Uniform Bar Exam. And the Uniform Bar Exam consists of 2 full days of testing. The first day is the written portion of the exam, and the second day is the multiple choice portion of the exam, or MBE day. And we'll talk about each in a little bit more detail in just a second. But as I stated, this is a 2-day exam. Each day consists of 6 hours, and they break up that 6-hour testing day into 2 equal parts, which means on day 1, there'll be a morning session, which is a 3-hour session. You break for lunch, you come back for 3 more hours, and then on day 2, you do the exact same thing. You have a 3-hour morning session, you break for lunch, and you come back in the afternoon for 3 more hours. So as I previously noted, the first day of the Uniform Bar Exam is the written day. So let's talk about that first. First of all, when it comes to the written portion of this exam, states have discretion about how they want to score this. Some states use a 0 to 6 scale, other states use a completely different scoring scale, and they have discretion to basically determine how much certain issues are worth. So keep that in mind if you are taking the Uniform Bar Exam. I would advise you to look at your jurisdiction-specific information as it relates to how they score the written portion of this exam. So the written portion of the Uniform Bar Exam consists of 2 parts. The first part and the morning section, at least on in most jurisdictions, is the MPT. The afternoon session is the essay portion, or the MEE part. So let's talk about the MPT portion, since usually that's your morning session on the first day of testing. So what happens on this day is they give you 3 hours to complete 2 lawyerly tasks. So what they do is they hand you both of these tasks at the same time, and it's your job to allocate your time evenly between the 2. So this means for most people, they're spending an hour and a half on each task. So what is the MPT? It's asking you to complete lawyerly tasks. And when they hand out the testing materials, what you can expect is 2 separate tasks, and each task has a file and a library. And what you'll find in the file is a task memo. It's basically your directions about what you're supposed to be doing. And they give you a whole bunch of facts and relevant documents that you might want to use. And then they follow that up with the library portion, which is usually full of statutes, rules, and or case law. And this is a closed universe task, which means they do not want you to bring in any outside knowledge to complete the task posed. They want you to just stick to the information that's provided. So it's kind of nice in that you really don't have to know much to complete this portion of the Uniform Bar Exam. So this is worth 20% of your total score. A lot of people here at the MPT struggle with timing because, of course, it's a timed exam. And the most common forms of lawyerly tasks that we see here are things like writing a persuasive brief or crafting an objective memo. And again, those are the 2 most highly tested lawyerly tasks that we see. But they have historically asked students to do other things, like crafting demand letters or opinion letters, drafting portions of contracts. So again, it just depends on what that task memo tells you to do. So that's the morning portion of the first day of testing. That is the MPT, worth 20% of your total Uniform Bar Exam score. After you break for lunch and you come back, that afternoon session on day 1 is the essay portion, or the MEE. And if you're taking this with straight time, you'll have, again, 3 hours to complete 6 questions, or about 30 minutes a question. And this exam is a national exam, so it's not testing any state-specific laws, but instead it's testing the multi-state approach to the legal issues presented. Here, it is worth 30% of your Uniform Bar Exam score, so it's obviously very important. And the MEE can test the following subjects. It can test business associations. That encompasses things like corporations, agency, partnership, and limited liability companies, or LLCs. It also can test things like conflict of laws, constitutional law, contracts, criminal law and criminal procedure, evidence, family law, the federal rules of civil procedure, real property, torts, trusts and estates, as well as the Uniform Commercial Code. So turning to that second day of the Uniform Bar Exam, this is the multiple choice day, or the MBE day. And much like day one, you have 6 hours of testing here, 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the afternoon. The MBE consists of 200 multiple choice questions. And again, this is a national exam that's drafted by the National Conference of Bar Examiners, so it's not testing state-specific law. And in fact, the subjects that are tested by the MBE test things like constitutional law, contracts and sales, criminal law and criminal procedure, evidence, torts, civil procedure, and real property. So of this 200 questions, 100 are administered in the morning, 100 are administered in the afternoon. They only score 175 of these questions, which means you will encounter 25 test or experimental questions along the way. The MBE is worth 50% of your total Uniform Bar Exam score. So I hope that you found this helpful and you have a greater understanding of what is the Uniform Bar Examination. If you're looking for resources, please check out our website. We have a ton, everything from free resources to great blog posts to, of course, classes and one-on-one private tutoring.